everybody to another fabulous edition of our flight plan. So I am actually in South Mississippi today. We came over to have some fun, celebrate a birthday, see some family. We've had a lot of good times exploring the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Most of you know that's where I'm from. Obviously a big fan of Mississippi and the things Mississippi related. So having a great time here, and now today's flight plan. I want to really kind of dive deep into some of the things that I've been thinking about, not only for my business, but again, some things that would possibly help yours. Also want to thank Tammy Goodman with the Loan People. Tammy's been a wonderful friend and a wonderful partner. Got a couple of deals closed for several of the agents in our group, and she's doing a fabulous job, so I want to give her a big shout out. If you have not had a chance to talk to Tammy, I would encourage you to reach out to her. She's here in our offices in the Woodlands. She's a wonderful woman, been in the business for 20 years, and she's absolutely killing her move to the Woodlands from Knoxville, Tennessee. She's meeting a lot of people, and she's writing a lot of loans. And so the partnership with the Loan People is really, really beneficial for the agents, and I'm really happy that she's become a good friend and a good business partner and a great vendor for our group. So today's flight plan is going to be really simple. I want to really dive deep into a couple of things that have been kind of a continuation of things that we've talked about for a really long time, and that's without prospecting and lead generation, your business just absolutely kind of falls apart. And I've been reading a book recently called Making Millions in Real Estate. It was written by a friend, Jim Rimley. We've had an opportunity to get connected recently, and a wonderful book. It's so easy to understand. If you'd like a copy of it, I'm happy to share it with you. We've been kind of going through it with some agents on a weekly book club. The first week we did chapters 1 and 2. We did 3 and 4 last week. And what I think is really, really important about the reminders that are built inside this book is that you have to have a game plan. And our flight plan is really to help agents deliver on that. Prospecting is something that has to be a part of your business plan. We've talked about the importance of it and why without prospecting your business dies. And this game plan is really personal. And if you're not actively involved in the process of discovering what it is that you like about being a real estate agent, we talked about that a couple of weeks ago. Do you enjoy being a real estate agent? And if you enjoy it, you'll figure out the things that are important to you. And we've talked about that real estate is a contact sport. How many people are you contacting on a weekly basis? And that will set the tone for what levels of success that you have. So, if you want to have an accountability partner, please reach out to me. I'll hold you accountable to your contacts. I think it's so hard to stay focused on these things. But there are some incredible things that you can do in reaching out to your database. Most of you know I'm not the internet advertiser. However, that can be a small fraction of your real estate business. I do feel that you have to advertise and market your listings. I think it's important to have presence online. However, my goal is direct connections, and direct connections to my database have always been the most powerful tool for me in the growth and development of my business. So inside this book, there's several different ways or ideas that you can use for prospecting. And today I really want to kind of talk about the power of prospecting for investors and why that can be a very substantial part of your business. Over the last several years, there's been a big push for people have heard the term institutional buyer. It doesn't mean they're crazy. However, I kind of think they might be a little bit. They belong in some institutions because of the things that they've done. However, the big money player has turned into our market, and it's really kind of turned it upside down. It's created a shortage of inventory. It's created the elevation of price points. The institutional buyer has really made it a struggle for the average person to find affordable homes today. But that's a deeper subject. However, you can tell most of the people in your database that historically real estate has been a wonderful place to invest your resources. Now, being a landlord is not for everybody. However, if some people have some risk tolerance and they're able to understand the process of dealing with people, it can be a very, very, very lucrative way for them to grow their wealth. Now, if you are searching for these types of buyers, I'm going to give you a couple of different ideas and a couple tips that you can use this week to have some conversations with the people in your database about the power of investing in real estate. Built inside your database is a wonderful platform of people. Now, those people know people. There's a book called Endless Referrals. A guy named Bob Berg wrote this book, and if you haven't read it, I would encourage you to read it. I think it's a fabulous book, and what they talk about inside this book is the power of 250. Now, the average person has 250 people that they could consider, not that they would, but they would consider inviting them to their, wedding. And then there's another significant amount of people that would probably come to their funeral. This becomes your immediate ripple. Like if you could go to 250 people and ask them who do they know, chances are they know 250 people. And it's the same commonality amongst us as human beings and where our connections lie. So if you were to do a couple of things, number one, let's just say research specific areas. Which areas have appreciated more over the last 3 years than others? And you can do this by simple zip code searches. You could plug in a zip code into your MLS. You could go look up to see what the last 30 days have been in closed price points. Specific areas. Investors are probably going to be under $500,000, maybe under 400, maybe under 300, depending on the market. But you can go in and see like what the averages sold prices are for that particular zip code or neighborhood or community. And then you go back 3 years during that same 30-day period of timeline, and you just do some research. And you could see that 3 years ago, say the average home sold was $125 a square foot, and today the average home sold in this price point is $152 a square foot. So you can kind of calculate that annual appreciation. And that's the message that you want to go out and say to people. Hey, we've had home appreciations in the last 3 years in this particular zip code that have been from 125 to 155. If you've ever thought about becoming a home investor in real estate, not only can you have the opportunity for rental income, but let's just say that you are flatlining between the mortgage and the rent. And with the rent, you're paying your mortgage, you're paying your taxes, you're paying your insurance, you're parking some money for your commissions to cover the releasing of the property, and you're covering some maintenance. Let's say all of that levels out, but you're not making any cash flow. However, the appreciation rates for those properties have increased significantly. So the opportunity for someone to sell a property 3 years ago at 125 versus 155 today, that's where your gains are going to be. And as that house slowly ticks up in price points, if somebody has a 5 to a 10-year plan, they can start elevating the rental rate that they're collecting on that particular property, and then that's also going to help them with their cash flow. So there's some things to consider when you're doing this, but reach out to those individuals and say, have you ever considered investing in real estate? Have you ever considered a personal 401, a manageable 401? There's some different discussions there. Now, think about the opportunity that they could probably create with somebody that they know. Maybe they don't know anybody, but if you can deliver the right messaging, hey, good friend, I have this incredible area that's appreciating pretty heavily, and the expectations are that it will continue to appreciate because several businesses have opened up. They're running a parkway through the area. You're going to see a lot more people moving into the area because of this community research that we've done, and we anticipate that this will continue to grow over the next 5 to 10 years. If it's not for you, is there someone else that you may know that would have some interest in investing in real estate? And this ripple effect will get you introduced to people outside of your normal world, right? So these are people that are in your contact, these are their friends. And if you will not only do that by email, by text messaging, or whatever kind of method you want, the best is a phone call. Hey, Jim, just wanted to reach out to you. I've got some great news about this particular community. Over the last 3 years, the average home sales have increased from $125 a square foot to $150 a square foot, and we're anticipating that this is going to continue this particular trend going forward. Hey, have you ever considered investing in real estate? And if not, who do you know that might be interested in this type of option for their personal investing? And it's just that simple. And if you will do that and you will say, okay, I have 250 people that I consider great friends or people that I would invite to my wedding or to a party or to my kid's graduation or whatever that may be, those are the people that you want to call and make that phone call to. It's the easiest way to get people thinking about real estate. And during the course of that call, if you're calling those 250 people, here's what'll happen. Well, you know, Rick, we've actually considered selling our house because of the market appreciation. We would like to take our equity and do something different. So not being very specific for that individual, but being very specific to a particular outcome and focused on the outcome of finding home investors to buy in particular markets, you're going to find people that will actually probably list their home within a short period of time. And it could be 12 months, it could be 2 years or whatever, but you're building your listing pipeline. This is the easiest way to prospect. Hey, I've done some research on this particular market. This is where I anticipated going. If it's not for you, is there someone that you may know that would have some interest in doing this? And they're gonna reach out to those folks. Now, then create an event. You could say, hey, listen, we're getting together at this particular restaurant. We're going to grab a beer and we're going to talk about home investing and the process and what's going to probably happen over the course of the next several years in our particular market. I love this way of building your annual sales. It's something that I've gotten away from. It's been heavy on my heart trying to get back into this on the investor side of things. So this is my message for the next couple of weeks, and that's just basically reaching out. My goal again is 25 phone calls a day that I want to reach out to people and say, hey, are you interested in this? I'm also going to write a really wonderful email that's going to say, hey, here's the results of my research. Here are some things that I think could be valuable for you as a homeowner, and here's where I feel like this could be an opportunity for you as a home investor. If it's not for you, who do you know that would be interested in selling or purchasing some investment real estate? And I guarantee you'll find some opportunities. It's just getting in the trenches and making these calls. It's the hardest thing in the world that we avoid and we avoid and we avoid and we avoid. But if we will just do it consistently, time on task, will deliver some incredible results. So, and let's just say you're talking with somebody today that's going to invest $300,000, and that's kind of a big number, but it's a good number for our particular market. So $250,000 to $300,000, and you did an analysis, and you went back 3 years, and you said this house was worth this here. Go back 6 years, and you go, okay, this is where this house was worth, and then you go back 10 years, and you say this is where this house was worth. You can kind of create that chart trend, and you say based on trends. No guarantees, but based on trends, we anticipate that this house could potentially have a market value here. If we rent it today at this particular number, and then just call Tammy Goodman with the loan people, and you could say to Tammy, if I were to share this property to a home investor, what would be the guidelines for that person to buy this particular property? And she'll tell you a couple of different types of loan programs. So in your email, now you've got your trends. Now you're going to say, if you were to buy this $300,000 home and you put 20% down and you had a $240,000 mortgage at this particular rate, this is what your PITI would look like. This is what the rental numbers would look like. And this is where I feel like the next 3 to 5, 10-year trends will get you to not only rental rates, because you could track that as well, and this is where we feel like you could be in a short amount of time. And if you were to do that by phone, text, and email to your 250 people, I promise you will get some incredible results going forward. So hope life turns out really great for you this week. Keep investing in your time, time on task. Find those home investors, and I promise you, in the search for the home investor, you will find the client that says, I'm really ready to do something today. So go make it great, and have a great flight plan, and reach out to Tammy for those quotes on some investor type loan programs. I think you'll be very impressed with what she can get for you, and I hope you guys have a great day and a great week and a great flight, and we'll see you very soon. So have a good one.